Is Iran and Israel fixing to go to war? I don't know. It is possible. It's kind of looking like they may go at war here. We all know that Israel accidentally hit the Iranian consulate in Syria, killing a few people. It's looking like they may go to war. I don't know. They may just exchange some missile barrages, because we all know the definition of war has changed here lately. Now when a war breaks out, you got to take breaks for humanitarian aid and effort to get in there to the people you're fighting with. It's very strange to me to see that type of stuff going on. Like I said, the definition of wars have changed. It's not like it was when we was growing up, where you fight the country, you go to war, and when it's over, then you fix stuff, right? It's not like that anymore. You still got Ukraine and Russia going at it. We're starting to hear again about the famous spring offensive. We hear it every year that they're going to do some type of big offense, as soon as the weather's correct for them. It used to be the big winter offensive. For months we was hearing people say, well, when the ground freezes, they're going to do this and do that. And I'm sitting there thinking, they're not in the Arctic. The ground don't freeze solid. But what do I know? I don't live over there. I may be wrong. But the Israel and Iran and Hamas and all that, it's a powder keg just waiting to go off. A lot of people, are pretty sure that we're living in the Revelation, in the end times of the Bible right now. Are we? I don't know. It's looking an awful lot like it, though. If you grew up reading your Bible, or you read it and you go to church, it looks like we're in the end times. Strange thing to me is we're not hearing a lot of preachers preach on it, though, are we? I mean, we're seeing a lot of signs here lately. We got the great eclipse coming up. A lot of people think Jesus is going to come back during the eclipse, or the world's going to end, or something's going to happen, or that's going to start something. I don't know. I can't come on here like a lot of people do on their channels and tell you definitely what's going to happen, because I don't know. I'm just like most of y'all. I give you my opinion on it. Some of you may think I'm crazy. Some of you may think my opinion's not worth crap. But I'm entitled to it, just like you're entitled to your opinion. I've always said the Middle East is where I think a nuclear weapon will be used. I really do. Everybody's scared to death that Russia and Ukraine's going to cause some type of nuclear war. I don't see that. I see it more likely a nuclear weapon going off over there. Now, let's say Israel and Iran do go to war. Is the U.S. going to back them? Probably. Right? You got to remember, we gave them a lot of money. Who remembers that a couple years ago? We gave them a lot of money. I'm talking about Iran. And now we may be going to war with them. You also got to remember, we moved a lot of troops over there. We still have a lot of troops over there around Ukraine too. I've told you the hardest thing for a military to do is to get their troops and equipment into position to fight. That's the hardest part of a war, is getting your people and equipment where it needs to be. And you don't set it's like setting a dinner table, right? All your family's coming over and you got all the plates set and the knives, silverware and all that. You're not doing it because you're not going to do anything, right? You're doing it because somebody's coming. I think they know something, and when is this going to happen? I would expect something before the election. Now, everybody thinks Trump's going to win the election, and immediately, Russia and Ukraine stuff's going to be over, the Middle East stuff's going to be over, our gas price is going to drop back down to $1 a gallon, and that's not what's going to happen. Everybody knows that, but people hold out hope for it. That's what they hope happens. All this stuff is rolling, like I've told you a year ago, 2 years ago. Imagine a ball rolling down a hill. The further it goes, the faster it gets, and that's what's going. We're on that speed slope right now, and it's just waiting on something to happen. A lot of people are saying the bridge collapsed up there in Baltimore. I told you that I'd be surprised if they didn't come out and say it was a cyber attack, and they're starting to think maybe that had something to do with it. Everywhere we're turning, we're at war, or going to war, or trying to start a war, or our economy, or everything's crashing again. But they want you to keep going to work every day, pay your taxes. One thing I want to ask y'all, I've asked this before, not many people's replied, but let's say a big attack happens here in America. You got to think back to 9/11. Now 9/11, we know all the cities that were affected, but in your area, it didn't affect you, so you still went on about your day. I am a firm believer that if a major attack, like a nuclear weapon, anything went off here in the United States, if you're not in that area, they would tell you everything's fine, we've got it under control, go on about your day. That's what I think would be what they told us. You got to also remember, what long ago New York was giving their citizens, head up drills on nuclear war, right? What to do in case of a nuclear incident. We don't know the answers. The people higher up, they know what's going on. They know when things are going to happen before we ever know about it. All we can do is react to it. And that's the bad part, is all you can do to a situation like that is to react. You can be prepared where you can sit back and assess the situation and then react. But as far as you getting heads up that, hey, at 10 o'clock tomorrow something's going to happen, more than likely we're not going to have that heads up. The Middle East stuff, it could be biblical. It really could be. We could be in the end times. We have had a lot of signs. If you read your Bible, there'll be signs in the heavens. We've had a lot of signs since the last eclipse in 2017. Immediately after that, the birthing pains sign was in the sky, in September. It's very strange. They're going to sacrifice a red heifer. I don't know if they're going to do it or not. And I'm very, very surprised that the dome, the temple over there, hasn't already been destroyed or hit. Because Israel obviously is hitting targets they're not meaning to hit, right? Oh, it's an accident. Sorry, my bad, dude. But how easy would it be for them to say that Iran or Hamas launched a missile, their Iron Dome defense intercepted that missile and hit it, and it made it detour off into the dome, right? Things like that could happen. And can you imagine if that does get blown up or tore down over there or damaged? What we're seeing now is nothing what we'd see after a situation like that. The world has just gotten crazier and crazier every day. Every day it's something, isn't it? Every day. Don't get hooked on everything that's going on, though. Keep it in the back of your mind, but don't start panicking. We've told you there's never a time to panic. Do your best to prep and be ready for whatever comes. That's all we can do. Let me know your thoughts on this. Keep your head on the swivel. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Protect yourself and your family at all times. At that moment, you're the only person who can do it. Stay safe. Keep prepping. Let's see what tomorrow holds on the news. Probably won't be nothing good.